All right, guys, welcome back to the Kingdom Advance podcast. This is episode 2, kind of talking about locker room leadership. We got some special guests with us. Hootie, Savannah, thanks for coming. I appreciate it. For those of you who don't know, Savannah is my cousin, Savannah Gregory. And she hasn't claimed it yet, but I sure do. So first, congratulations on a great start to the season.
Thank you.
I did some research, 23-1 overall. I was there for that one, but
you're not invited back.
Yeah, stay away.
And then 9-1 in conference play. So, at least I think I was there for that one. I don't know. Maybe it was last year. Anyway, so I think that the thing that's really highlighted around the campus, and Greer kind of touched on it before we started, was just y'all are recognized as this great family culture and this faith-driven team that succeeds. So it's awesome for us to see. So I just want to talk about, how do you all think that you all build that family culture as a team and then a program?
Well, it's not magic. It takes a little bit of work, and it starts in recruiting. We try to pick out the kids with character. We try to pick out kids that, they got to be able to play basketball, but they also have to have character as well. And when they have that and they come in with that, that makes our job so much easier because I'm not having to worry about what you're doing off the floor. I can coach you on the floor. Yeah. And that's just huge. And if you bring in the right kind of kids, they just they fit together and it just builds the culture. And that's kind of where it all starts.
That's awesome. So speaking of players you recruited, Savannah, did you recruit Savannah?
I really didn't. She was kind of Coach Colvin's.
Oh, okay. So you're special. You're special then.
But I'd love to take credit for sure.
So what about you? Because it's coaches are one thing, but when you're in the locker room as a player, that's just a closer knit relationship. So to you, what's it like to kind of build that family culture and keep it going throughout the season?
Well, I mean, a big thing I think to build that is that we're always doing stuff together. We live together. We're similar people, I guess you could say. So it's easy for us to have that family and that close-knit bond. And we fight sometimes and we don't like each other all the time. But at the end of the day, it's like a sisterhood, something that we say a lot. And so it's like your family, and you just take that and you embrace that and you roll with it.
Yeah. I just think y'all do such a great job of it. It's actually kind of cool to watch. And last year, really getting to be secondhand, hear from Maddie and talk about it some. And so the next thing I want to talk about, and more towards you right now, because I think from my standpoint, you're a leader on that team. Can you confirm?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, cool. So how does faith affect the way you lead?
Well, personally, my goal as a leader, with my faith is just to be Christ-like, and that is not an easy task by any means. But again, with the team that I have, it's not that hard. Sometimes it's harder to want to lead by example. Sometimes I do get frustrated and mad, and I have to catch myself, and because they're watching me, whether I want to believe that or not. And so I just try to think, is this an action that Christ would be proud of? And I often go with the verse from Colossians 3:23, whatever you do, do it with all your heart, is working for the Lord. And so even though I get angry and I might want to say something back, or I might not want to talk to that person, I have to realize, that's not how me leading with all my heart for Christ is how I would do. And so just as a leader, that is my motto and that's my goal, and I try to achieve that, but am willing to say I don't always do that.
Right. But from what I hear, you do a pretty good job.
Well, thank you.
From what Maddie's always said about you, so and just the way you play, the effort you put on the floor, always lead by example. So it's something I can appreciate. The complete opposite of how I've ever played in my whole life when I played. So, so from a coaching standpoint, it's different because I feel I coach middle schoolers, so I got you. We're on the same page right here, you and me. But I always never really knew how to approach it as their superior to talk to them about their faith. I think it was maybe because we didn't have the opportunity to get close enough. Maybe me and Kobe. But outside of that, nobody really. So for you, is there a line that you draw, or is it just something you full on dive into and can talk to people about, your players about?
A little bit of both, probably. I do feel fortunate to be here at Campbellsville because I don't feel like it's an issue. If I want to talk about faith, or if I want to express my faith, I'm able to do that here. And I know in a public school setting or it's a little different. Yeah. But so it's a blessing, absolutely, to be here at Campbellsville and to be able to express that faith. I think more than anything, I just want to be an example. I don't want to shove it down your throat. If you see it in me and you see something you like, you're going to ask me about it.
Yeah.
Or you're going to talk to me about it, and maybe I can talk to you about it. And I think if I can just demonstrate that faith, maybe that speaks a little more than me having to just ram it down your throat, if that makes sense.
No, I get that. See, my dad's been coaching here, I guess, like 20-some years now, volleyball. I think he started the women's program and then the men's, and he was like, I'm a minister. He's like, I work at a church, and he was like, but I never just push faith down my players' throats. He was like, if it's something you want to talk about, that's cool. But I just want to lead by example and then be that strong foundation for you. So I get where you're coming from. So for me, being able to be around Maddie, I kind of get the ups and downs of your all season and how tough that can be. Even one loss, because I know how much one loss affects you all, because y'all don't really expect to lose, nor do we expect you all to lose. So that's
it's not fun.
That's what I'm saying. It's a tough expectation. So it's not like you're a middle of the pack program, It's you always have that expectation on you. So I think that for me it would just be really hard in your all shoes to stay steadfast in my faith all season and push through those things. So how do you all think that you all can do that?
For me, personally, if I stay rooted in my faith throughout an entire season, in which sometimes things get busy and you tend to slack and things like that, but if you stay rooted in it, at the end of the day, a loss is a loss, and you can't make that your whole life, and you can't make that the reason that you don't have joy the next day.
Right.
And so for me, I just think we're going to build off of it, and if I can bring joy to my teammates and be look, this is just one loss. This doesn't define our season. This isn't the end of the day. Our season's not over. And so just taking that and building on that instead of just hanging our heads starts because we're grounded in our faith, and it's not something that's just going to completely take us down, because God's got a greater plan than just a loss, or just basketball in general.
Yeah, but in that moment, I know it doesn't feel like it, especially with Ginger, because I know how Coach Colvin is. So I kind of want y'all to touch on Coach Colvin and her leadership. I know that you're kind of her little mentor. So. And then you've been with her for a while now. So if y'all just want to kind of touch on her, you can start if you want.
Okay. It's funny because she was actually my coach. She was my assistant coach when I played here at Campbellsville. Mm-hmm. And when she got the head coaching job a year or so later after I graduated, I knew I wanted to work with her. Yeah. She's just a special person. She really is. Yeah. And I've never been with anybody who can be as hard and demanding as she is, but as loving as she is at the same time. It's just an interesting combination, but it really, really works. And I think what makes it work is that she demands it of you, but at the end of the day, you know why she's demanding it. Because she wants you to be your best, and because she cares for you, and she'd do anything for you off the court. And I think when you have that trust and you have that leadership, it's easy to follow. It's easy to want to work hard because you don't want to let her down, because she's working that hard for you as well. And so she's built a tremendous program, and it's just based on players love her, players trust her, and they're going to go out and do whatever they can for her.
You going to add on to that?
No, I think she got it exactly what I'd say.
Yeah, like I said, from the outside looking in, that's just everything she's always been. And then seeing how she parents Kobe, it's the exact same thing. So it's really cool to see their relationship and dynamic as well. Yeah. I think you kind of touched on it a little bit, how busy it gets. Mm-hmm. So do you find it difficult to stay in the Word throughout the season?
I mean, yeah, you get basketball, you get school, and then besides practice and games, you're in the gym on your own, and you're doing rehab, and you just have all these things, and the day goes by, and then you're hey God, I didn't give you time today, Mm-hmm. But I think it helps, me and two other of my teammates, we have slacked, but we've been doing a little Bible study together, and so just having accountability, having teammates that hold you accountable is a big thing. And I mean, coaches, every Sunday that our coaches are in church, and that's just something that, again, she's talked about leading by example. They don't have to say it, we know it. And so we always know if we need that accountability, we could always talk to them. And then again, I have teammates that I feel comfortable talking to as well if I need that, hey, get back in the Word, get back to praying. It's really cool when you can have that, and you can be that for your teammates.
Yeah. Does your family play into your support system throughout the season, and a sense of your faith, or
my family, do they play a part? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely. I've taken my own step in my faith, very much so, but at the same time, my family is very they know why I do what I do and the faith aspect of it, and they continue to push me in that as well.
That's awesome. So I don't really know the difference between the coach and the player and your all schedules. I don't even know, how much do you all scout? Like, really?
A ton.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Who does most of the scouting? You?
That'd be me.
Okay, awesome. So for you, that means you're really busy. It's like you touched on how demanding Coach Colvin is. So for you, how does it differ, like, in a sense of, like, how you stay in your faith and the Word?
Like she said, there's certain times of year it's just hard. You feel like, you're up late at night watching film, and then you're up early again the next day, and it's just a busy schedule. And travel doesn't make it any easier. You know, sometimes when you're on the road, that affects your study habits and all that stuff. And another thing that I think we haven't touched on is when you're successful, there's a pressure that comes with that. There's a lot of pressure. And so your faith helps you through those times, or it does me at least, putting things in perspective. Is this the end of the world? Probably not. Does it feel like the end of the world? Yes. But is it? No. And so just having that perspective. So for me, it's a daily Bible study. I like to do it at night. Sometimes that doesn't happen, so I'll get up the next morning. And even if I have to, where I have the Bible, it speaks it to you, like it does it out loud, and you can listen.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes that's the best I can do. You get up in the morning and you do that, and as you're getting ready, there's just ways to do it. You just gotta do it.
Yeah, I think it's sometimes people lose sight of like how much effort it takes to like really push yourself in your faith, and like it's something that we're called to do, but like we have to work it into our day, even though it's like what we're supposed to work into our day. And again, it's perspective.
Is this scouting report, but does it matter as much as
absolutely
read my Bible?
And in that moment, I'm sure it does, right? Like,
exactly.
Like, it's just tough to like differ what's important at that moment. So I get it. I think for you, I know you've been through a lot as an athlete, injury wise and stuff like that. So even like some tough losses in like the tournament last year and everything, like the pressure and the expectations can make those even worse. So I just want to talk about like the most difficult moment like you faced as an athlete, and like how that may have challenged you in your faith or your spiritual walk.
I tore my ACL, and so that was very challenging. I think it was eye-opening because I would always consider myself humble and like I'm very appreciative of the talents and abilities God's given me, but it took that to the next level when it got taken away from me. And I was coming to college when it got taken away, so I was like, I'm not going to be able to be good in college because of this. But actually, like, the Lord was like, no, let me show you, and I'm better than I've ever been. And I can't take credit for that at all. And so that definitely was challenging, but I think more so was challenging for me is when I had to play and when I lost my sister. So about 2 years ago around this time, I just kind of I had basketball and I had God and I had my family, but like it was just a time of like loss and like I was just so hurt, but I was still having to do something I love so much. So I had to find like my passion and how I was dealing with this terrible loss and like intertwine them, and it was really hard, but I think I got through that because of the team I play on and because of my faith, most definitely. And so I had the people that just wrapped around me and supported me and encouraged me, and I had something to lean on like basketball, and so that God gave me that thing to do that helped me through that time. And so that was really challenging. I think that's a physical challenge and then a mental challenge that I had to go through, and both of them I think have tremendously increased my faith.
I think in the valleys, like, you're supposed to grow, and I think you've always done that. I think it's awesome to watch and see. So we're gonna kind of turn the script, kind of talk about the rest of the season, like what that holds for you all. I'm just curious. So who do y'all have coming up next?
Shawnee State. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
I know Shawnee. Okay. And we're without Coach. We're with the assistant coach this weekend.
For now.
She'll definitely make it back.
That's just to drag herself out. She'll be there.
So how do you feel about it? The slim chance she doesn't. How do you feel about it?
Of course I'll be nervous. Of course I'll be anxious. But it's not about me. All I got to do is put them in the right position, and they know what to do. They've done it for 20-some games now and been really successful. So it won't be about me at all. It'll be about them, and I'm completely confident in their abilities.
How much time do y'all have left until the tournament? Like the big tournament?
We have 6 conference games left, and then we start conference tournament. And so it's getting down to the...
This season's gone by fast, but like I haven't been to every game like I was trying to go to last year. So So how do y'all feel? I mean, like I said, record speaks for itself more often than not. 23-1, 9-1 in conference. But how do you feel? Confident?
I think I'm confident. I think right now we're playing at a good level. We're kind of starting to fix some things that were broken, I guess you could say, and kind of putting it all together like a puzzle. And so I think we have a little chip on our shoulder too. They came here and took the win from us that should have been ours. And so we just have to be confident. And if we go and play like I know we can, I mean, I don't think it's a game. So
is that somewhere that's like a tough place to play? Are there like, because I don't really know how all NAIA crowds work. Sometimes it's just like 6 people there, and sometimes there's a gym full.
Yeah.
So, like, are there tough places to play? So, like, Shawnee State?
Shawnee's a very tough place to play. Obviously, the Lindsay game is a tough one.
Yeah, for sure.
Georgetown, everybody wants to beat Georgetown.
Yeah, all the time.
So, yeah, there's certain games, but our fans are incredible. There's nowhere we go that I feel like we're at a disadvantage because half the time we have as many or more people.
Yeah.
And that's a tribute to the girls' families. They travel, and they support each other. Like, you could not pick out Savannah Gregory's parents from anybody else's because they're supporting everybody. Right. It don't matter if Savannah scores 20 or if somebody else does, they're going to support whoever's on the floor that night.
Well, I just want to wish you all good luck and congrats on like already a successful career to you and to you. I can't wait to see what's next for both of you. You're a junior, athletically or academically?
Athletically,
but academically you're a senior.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I spread my classes out because I was a red shirt coming in, but.
Yeah. Also, you got a whole other year to hoop. That's awesome. Lucky y'all.
The other conference teams like, when is she going to graduate?
Right.
When do we get rid of this
kid? So more than anything, good luck. I appreciate you all coming on. And that's a wrap for the Kingdom Advance podcast.